those of us who've been involved in the anti-war campaign for many years, are now living in a strange world. And it's not just that the world is strange, it's that there is growing disputes between activists. The left has been very divided on some of the wars, Libya and Syria in particular. And so it seems that the unity that was built up to try and stop the Iraq war has fractured a bit, and that's what I want to discuss. Why has this happened? If you take the arguments which are being used by those who either publicly or secretly want the West, or wanted the West to intervene in Syria, all those arguments could have been used about Iraq. Saddam was a brutal dictator, he killed people, we knew all that. The only thing they lacked, the West, at the time when they went to war in Iraq, was images, because he hadn't done anything for a long, long time. And the last time there had been repression in Iraq was on the heels of the first Gulf War, and prior to that the Iran-Iraq war, in which the West was supporting him. So using images from the first was difficult, and using images from the second, in which Western armies went and decimated the Iraqi army, the Turkish army, as it was known. But I start with Iraq because what subsequently was planned for Syria and Iran was not so different. Some of you will remember, those with longer memories than others, that the first statement made by the Israeli ambassador the day Baghdad fell, public statement in Washington, D.C., published in the New York Times, congratulating the United States and saying, we have taken Baghdad, now let's go and finish the job forward to Damascus and Tehran. So they saw it very clearly as part of a pattern that any independent regime, and they were not interested in democracy or human rights or any of that, any independent regime that existed in the region, the time had come to get rid of them, one way or the other. And so the plan was set into motion from that time onwards. Then the Arab Spring erupted. And at first the West was taken by surprise, certainly in Tunisia, and also in Egypt. They tried to patch things up, they failed, they lost one dictator, then they lost another dictator, and then they thought it was a good mechanism by which they could intervene, pretending that they were for the Arab Spring. In Egypt, as we know, they tried to link up with the Brotherhood, which failed for them. And they've now got a military dictatorship with which they're trying to settle and do a deal. And when the uprising erupted in Syria, naturally, virtually all of us present here, I'm sure, supported it. None of us had any illusions about the regime. It was obvious that what had taken place in Syria was part and parcel of the Arab movement for emancipation, for liberation, etc.